I'm becoming more hyper aware of what I'm wearing on Tuesdays, which is when we're recording this, by the way, because of this podcast. I'm like now making a concerted effort where I'm like, okay, I can't wear this today because I wore it last week, and I don't want to look like I'm wearing the same thing over and over and over again.
I hear that.
Is that happening to you?
Yeah. I'm doing
just
that.
Part
well,
of,
you should.
It's part of
your job now.
It's part of the things with video production like this.
Yeah. I have to like shave every Tuesday? You're
yeah,
kidding me?
forgot to shave again. I keep forgetting to do that. Not that it's growing a whole lot. I'm looking at the viewfinder right now, and it's not, it's whatever.
Active Reload.
Welcome to the show. I'm wearing a jacket because it is cold in here.
I was wearing one.
Yeah, Grant should be wearing a jacket, but, neither here nor there.
It's a little cold.
We're wearing a jacket. I'm wearing a jacket. It's cold. It's freezing in here, but that's okay. It looks normal. It's no big deal. Welcome to Active Reload. This is a video game podcast. We talk about all things weather. Just kidding. Video games. It's time to talk some video games. We're back. Another week. More stories have unfolded. New games have been announced. New experiences to be had. It's a big week in releases as well.
Yeah, well, new development teams.
New development teams are put
That's
together.
the big topic today.
And that means new games are going to be coming, which is
Hold on.
amazing.
Hold your horses there.
Okay.
A lot of these promise AAA games.
Yeah.
So when you say games to be released, I don't know if these games will ever be released or these studios will ever release a game.
Or it's more like hey, we're a new AAA studio. We have an idea that may come to fruition 10 years down the line.
Man, I hope so, because these are really nice. Like,
I like it.
I like the names of these new teams. I like the guys who are founding these teams.
I like 3 of the 4 or 5 or 4 of the 5 that you have listed.
Okay. Well,
There's
we'll
one that I
do
do not like in terms of name.
Yep.
They could be a great developer, but just the name, it doesn't really do anything for me. And that is the first one on the list.
Okay.
Giant Skull.
Yes.
Doesn't really tell me anything. It's just Giant Skull.
Star Wars Jedi director.
Yeah.
He announced his new studio this week.
Skull.
Giant Skull.
Did you know that skulls used to be used to eat soup out of?
I bet. I mean, it seems like a perfect bowl.
And if there's a giant skull, that means a lot of soup. I hate soup. I'm not a soup guy whatsoever.
You live in Wyoming? You're not a soup guy?
Yeah, nah, anything that's like broth based, I'm usually not that huge of a fan. Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I know plenty of people that are soup people, but
I've had soup for the last 3 days in a row.
Well, that's because you were sick over the weekend.
I was sick a
we
little
almost
bit.
didn't record again today because you were down for the count.
I recorded
last
a commercial yesterday. My voice wasn't great.
Well,
not the best
it sounded
product.
fine. It's just a little scratchy. That's all right though.
Yeah.
No big deal. Anyways, Giant Skull. He was the Star Wars Jedi, Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, that guy. Right?
Yeah.
He directed those games. He's announcing a new studio. He left Respawn, said, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna make a giant studio, a Giant Skull studio," and that's what he decided to do. Now he's making a AAA narrative-driven, single-player, third-person action adventure game. We haven't heard of one of those before.
Oh my gosh. Third person action adventure game. Is this guy trying to...
He's really going out of the park here.
He's like, hey, Sony, you want to give us a grant?
I got an idea.
Hey, Sony, I heard you like...
Something you've never seen
single
before.
player narrative-driven third person action adventure games. Ugh.
He's like, yeah. Then PlayStation's like, yeah, we made basically our entire console off of one of those games.
Yeah.
Called Uncharted.
Yeah, is it a sequel? Like,
that would be honestly. Well, I mean, I don't know. I am interested because I do love. I'm dogging on him a little bit here. But
yeah, I know.
I do love third person action. I mean, who doesn't love third person action adventure games?
It's just. I mean, I just say action adventure games. I don't know if you have to.
Well, I mean, if it's in third person,
maybe it's because they're trying to put out the bat signal of we need some help and developers,
like artists and whatnot.
If you've shipped a game. That is a third-person action adventure, single-player, narrative-driven.
According to what we have written here, he is putting the call out.
Yeah,
around 30 people, many of whom are veterans of Star Wars Jedi, the Jedi games, and then Fortnite, 2 very prominent third-person video games.
Yeah,
and
employee choice to work from home or not,
which that's a huge incentive.
It is, especially coming from Los Angeles, is where they're going to be at. But I have 2 minds on this. So I have experience with companies working from home and working. hybrid companies, what
Right.
they call now. My wife, I'm not going to say where she worked at. She was working from home, where they were like, "Hey, everybody, go move about the country, save some money, because this part of California is very expensive,
Yeah.
and we could all use help with not working here," type of thing.
The drive and the whatever. What's
The buildings
Yeah.
and the
right? Well, and
property
like
value, the property taxes,
and for the most part, the people were probably living not in the town; they were living outside of the town.
Exactly.
So they had to make a commute, and that costs money.
yeah, and parking. It's just ridiculous, but it didn't work out that well. Mm-hmm. A lot of this company, they were like, "Hey, everybody, work from home," and then later they were like, everybody working from home needs to come here, or you're fired.
Yeah, which is that's a very abrupt way of saying it.
People were like, "I just bought a house."
Yeah, you gave us this option. What do you mean?
Yeah, I've worked here for 15 years, and I bought a house after you told me to.
Right. And then I could work from home, bro.
Yeah, so hopefully it sticks.
Yeah.
First of all, they released the Last Jedi game under these conditions. So,
yeah, they were all working from home during that point because that was mid-pandemic at that point.
yeah, and so it worked out.
Yeah. There are success stories about that. It's just kind of it's hit or miss. I think it just depends.
I think that I'm going to go to my grave. I'm going to say that you can make a better product when everybody is in the same room. It's just, I'm not saying you could, when you're at home, you could work longer. You could work, you can pretty much
that's a dangerous game.
I know it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a call at 9 p.m. and you're
Right.
like, hey,
you're at your office,
You're
right?
at your office.
Oh, you are.
Might as well just do this.
Yeah.
But also, it's way more comfortable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in these big companies. So this guy's coming from not Infinity Ward.
No, Respawn.
Respawn.
Right.
At Respawn, there's a lot of people in there. So there's a lot of people that have to put in some sort of input. Yeah. That's their job. Is they have to
be able to work in a collective.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're working from home, you kind of go through all that red tape.
Right. It makes it a little bit more difficult to get the. I think there are positives of being able to read a room with ideas, if that makes sense.
Well, plus everybody feeds off each other.
Yeah. But some people definitely prefer it. I've never been able to do that, so I have no idea which one I would prefer, to be honest with you. But I would be down to try it, obviously. It just depends.
Yeah. I hope that these guys do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I see AAA, a new studio that wants to make AAA narrative-driven games,
right.
I'm like, oh boy.
Well, at this point now, the AAA stuff, and maybe not just because of like Skull and Bones, because Skull and Bones, they did the quadruple A thing, and it's really, no pun intended, crashed and burned in their face because of that. And now it's kind of become a joke at this point.
Well, I want you to tell me give me an example of a AAA game that's come out in the last 3 years that has succeeded that isn't named Call of Duty.
Are you talking like from launch?
Yeah, from
because
early development to launch.
I would say that there are games that I think a lot of them are Respawn, like the Jedi games. I think are. Granted, they don't they had PC problems, I guess, when the newest one came out.
Yeah, but what about financially successful?
I think the Jedi games sold well. I thought so.
I don't know.
From what I remember.
Not positive, but I think so.
I think they sold pretty well.
I know Star Wars isn't doing great.
Well, I mean, just as a product, yeah. But I think that I've said this numerous times on the podcast. I think the Jedi games are the best thing that the Star Wars, the Star Wars
license,
brand, has put out in 5 years, probably.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right. I just can't. I didn't like the first Jedi game at all. I just thought the characters and the droid and I thought they were kind of annoying. I didn't like that they were half of a step in of a Souls-like genre.
Yeah, they kind of.
Did they fix that in the second one?
It's still the same vibe. It's still like, you get the half open world areas and then you run into a boss that is somewhat difficult.
That actor just doesn't sell me as a Jedi.
You don't like? I can't remember his name.
I'm not saying I don't like him. I thought he was good on that one TV show.
Shameless.
Yes. And I
I can't remember his name, but I can see it.
Sorry. But I can't buy him as a Jedi. Can't.
Okay. Can you buy
that one guy from the Star Wars Force Unleashed?
Yeah.
That prodigy of Darth Vader. I bought him as a Jedi or a Sith.
Yeah,
Lord,
he played.
powerful
Didn't
guy.
he play? I thought he played somebody else in the Star Wars universe as well.
Maybe.
Because the Force Unleashed games were not canon, obviously,
No.
because you could kill like every prominent Jedi character in the game.
Yeah.
And I want to say he ended up playing. I want to say he ended up playing like Darth Maul in the Rebels series.
Oh, okay.
I think I could
So
be
they brought him
completely
back.
wrong about that.
He
I
was good.
apologize. But yeah, he's great in the Force Unleashed games. They're fantastic.
Hey there. Fantastic? Nah, they're okay.
I mean, they were good.
Hey, you know what's
good games.
kind of cool that no one knows about? The PlayStation 2 version of Force Unleashed is really good. A lot of people don't know
It's
that.
different than the Xbox version.
It's slightly
and the Wii
different.
version. Because
Yep.
I remember the Wii version.
It's slightly different, yeah. Different layout to the levels and the Force powers and stuff are different and remixed.
I do think.
But it's really good.
I will say I do think the Jedi games of recent
Yeah.
are better than the Force Unleashed games. Definitely, in my
I
opinion.
bet, yeah.
But it's all per.
Yeah, and
Personal-
So
personal
these are the new studios that were announced. I'm just gonna go down the list.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them.
I want to talk about one in
4.
particular because we saw a trailer today.
Yes, Critical Hit Games,
Good name, by the way.
Polish developer. They released a trailer today for a new noir-style cyberpunk game, which is hilarious because James
I know we talked
over
about
here
it literally last week.
just talked about how he wanted a Blade Runner
Yeah, I
detective
was like,
style.
Give me a Blade Runner detective style video game and I will buy it. And guess what? This week, before we record, it's like they were listening, and they almost certainly are not. But it's like they
No,
were,
they are.
and they said, "Hey, guess what? Do we got something for you?" I'm trying to find the name of the game because I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Oh, it's I didn't write it down.
But I just watched the trailer.
Yeah, please give us the name. It was a really good trailer. Although it was a CG trailer. It's
Yeah,
an
there
Unreal
was-
Engine 5 trailer.
Yeah.
Probably in-game engine is just,
Nobody Wants to Die. Is
they
the
did
title
show
of the game.
Nobody Wants to Die.
Nobody Wants to Die.
They showed screenshots of what looks like it's going to be a first-person shooter, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or first-person detective.
or a third-person action adventure
Oh
detective.
gosh, no. He's like in the car. It's really cool because the cyberpunk angle they're going for is the Final Fantasy VII cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's
angle,
it's not like 2077.
which is like makeshift 50s stuff, like 50s
Yeah.
vehicles and clothing.
It
but
reminds
with
me
cyberpunk stuff in
It
it.
reminds me of Fallout, but instead of the I can't remember the name of the art style. They just went cyberpunk with it instead.
Well, there's Deco.
Yeah,
That's like the architecture.
yeah. It's like I don't know if it's Deco because Deco's more like BioShock. BioShock's
Yeah.
Deco, Art Deco. There's a title for it. Retrofuturism. That's what it is.
Okay.
For Fallout, and
Oh,
instead
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
retrofuturism, they just went cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It does look really cool.
I thought that looked
excited.
amazing. I haven't been excited for a trailer in a long time.
We don't get in. The other thing is too, we get like the Sherlock Holmes games, but we don't get enough good detective games.
No, we
like
don't.
that's such a LA Noire really opened my eyes when I played that for the first time, and I was like, I could play so many of these detective style games. I love them, and we've gotten like the Sherlock Holmes games. I guess I never really got into the Sherlock Holmes games, but then that one that we talked about that's Lovecraftian, Sunken City or
Yeah.
whatever it's called. And there's some
Yeah, the
other
Sunken
minor
City.
ones, but we haven't gotten like a really good AAA because Eleanor was Rockstar,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm excited. This is their first game too, so it's probably not AAA. That's probably the incorrect because it is their first game.
Yeah, anything
So-
that if you make a game with Unreal Engine 5 and
Yeah, true.
you're competent with making a game in Unreal Engine 5, it'll look AAA, kind of like RoboCop.
Yeah,
Rogue
that's true.
City. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's
that
not
was
definitely
yeah.
not AAA, but it looks great.
It looks great. Yeah, yeah.
The next one, Blue Scarab Entertainment from Stockholm. This is hilarious. This is from the Last Dice creative director, Craig Morrison. He is going here. Mm-hmm. He didn't found it, but he's going there. It's in Stockholm. Dice is from Stockholm.
Is he trying? Whoa, Dice is from Stockholm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then the former DICE creative director Lars Gustafsson
So we're two previous now.
is founding his new studio, which is TTK Games, Time to Kill Games.
Good name. That's a good name. I
And
like
he's
that name.
the Battlefield guy. He pretty much handled all the great Battlefield games. So
This
both
is
these
interesting.
Stockholm guys have made or are part of a new studio.
There was another guy that announced a new
Exciting.
studio recently as well. The former head of, I don't remember if it was Zombies specifically, but Treyarch. But he made a new new studio called Bullet Farm Studios.
Yeah, the Bullet Farm.
Yeah. Which
Forgot about that.
should be pretty cool as well.
That was
There's so many
over a week
studios.
ago.
I just thought of it.
Yeah.
in my
Bullet
head,
Farm,
I'm
Mad
sorry.
Max.
Yeah, perfect.
And
Great
then
name.
the final new studio announced this week, Empty Vessel. Former,
Sure.
it's a AAA studio, or they want to make
Right, of
AAA
course.
games.
They
I
all
should
do.
say.
Even if they say they don't, they all do.
Made up of id Software, Naughty Dog, and Activision.
Okay.
Pretty good pedigree for
Sure.
a new.
It's a good collage of people.
Exactly.
That would be interesting. I'm curious to see what, because Naughty Dog, very famously third person
Yeah.
action adventure games, obviously, and then id Software, more first person Doom style video games.
Yeah.
So like I'm curious to see what they settle on doing.
Yeah, I think
That
it's,
should be interesting.
It'd be really cool. Imagine like a kinetic shooter like
Yeah.
Doom, but with narrative chops like as Uncharted.
I'm imagining it right now, and I'm really happy. This is me. I'm in my dream. I'm
They
like,
want to make a title in the immersive shooter space. That's kind of like System Shock or
What does that
BioShock.
mean? Oh,
Yeah.
System Shock. Okay.
Yeah.
Or it could be, or it could be VR,
Or Prey. Prey is an immersive.
like the new Prey or the old Prey, like the 360
the new
Prey. Oh, okay.
Immersive sim. Is
What does that
they like
mean?
to call it.
What does immersive
It's
mean?
like I don't. You know what?
Like
It's kinda
I know
hard.
what immersive means, but what does it mean in the
It's
sense
like
of video
using the
games?
environment as
okay.
your gameplay mechanics.
Okay. Okay.
Like Prey.
So Half-Life 2.
Half-Life 2 is very much a first-person shooter, but it does have
you get the grav gun.
The grav gun, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay. Cool.
But definitely Prey is an immersive shooter.
Yeah.
Or System Shock.
And I didn't like
Deus
that game at
Ex.
all. Prey.
You
And I
didn't
haven't.
like that?
Nah, I think it's fine. I for whatever reason I've talked about this on here as
I
well.
know.
I start that game like 3 or 4 times, and for whatever reason it just does not grab me for like after
And
an hour.
I say this every time. You just have to get past a point.
That's hard though, you
know.
know? We got so many games grabbing at us.
There's also these immersive sim shooters or whatever you want to call them. They are the kind of games that don't hold your hand.
Right.
So a lot of people get lost in the first hour or
Yeah.
so.
That's
and they
definitely
give
something
up.
that happened with Prey, I think.
Yeah. So I think Empty Vessel is a cool name too. Also,
Empty Vessel.
they made a trailer for their announcement of the studio, which I think is kind of funny.
I love those. Are always so.
So look at us, everybody.
Yeah, they're way over the top.
And then this was definitely over top. It was just a helmet rolling down a street with awesome techno music and
course.
lots of bullets flying through the air.
Awesome.
So it looks like they're going to make some futuristic.
Anytime I ever see anything
Shooter.
like that, where like a helmet rolling down a hill or whatever,
I
or
know.
anything like that,
Halo.
you know what I think of?
What?
I think of that one. This is going to be really out there and really random.
Good.
I remember that. I always think of that. I think it's a Chef Boyardee ravioli commercial where it falls off of the shelf and it just rolls down the grocery aisle and then rolls down the hill and then it stops at the person who was last looking at it and they pick it up and they're like, Chef Boyardee. Can you imagine just picking up a Chef Boyardee off the ground and be like, I'll have this for dinner?
Is it at a grocery store?
It was at a grocery store. They were looking at it.
I'm
They
fine.
picked up the Chef Boyardee, put it back, and then they left.
They're like,
And then
"It's
the
a
Chef
sign."
Boyardee becomes sentient, I guess, and rolls and follows them.
It's a sign.
To have Chef Boyardee from the street,
Yeah. It's a sign to eat some soup.
it's not soup. Well, I guess they probably do. I think of ravioli whenever I think of Chef Boyardee, though. Don't
So
they do
I.
SpaghettiOs too?
Is SpaghettiOs soup to you?
That's a great question.
Of course it is.
SpaghettiOs is soup?
Guess what else is soup?
You better not say ravioli.
Cereal.
That is so stupid. Do you think hot dogs are a sandwich?
Absolutely.
You got to stop it.
Not all sandwiches are hot dogs,
We're
though.
losing viewership as we speak. Cereal's a soup. Soups
Yeah.
are hot.
Not all soups are hot.
Almost every soup you've ever had is hot. Name one cold soup that's not cereal.
Lobster bisque.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
What if we called lobster bisque cereal?
It's not cereal.
Do you make it with milk?
No. Well, yeah, it's cream. Yeah.
Sounds like a cereal to me then.
Okay. You might.
Sounds like a cereal to me. It's just a different type of cereal.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Do you remember?
jeez. What?
Did you get?
Video game podcast.
When you went to Burger King? Did you get Sneak King like me?
The video game Sneak King?
Yeah.
No,
That's how I got Sneak King. I'm really
I
hungry.
got Sneak King. I threw it as digital download, I believe.
Oh, really?
It was back. It was like one of the very first digital downloads I've ever had on console.
I went to a Burger King in Florida, and I got. This was when I was a kid, and we got like a Happy Meal or something, and they're like, "Hey, do you want a copy of Sneak King?" And I was like, a video game, free video game. Yeah,
That'd be
Mom,
funny.
grab it.
If we could trace the developers of that,
Dude, that
Burger King?
that
The
could be
Burger King
really
guys?
that could honestly be a really cool like deep dive into why this happened, because it's the only game that I think there have been like video games from companies like that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with video games, but Sneak King's like not a terrible game.
no, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a decent stealth game
So
as well as
there was
arcade
also
fun
a couple games. Remember that show Wipeout? Not the awesome video game racer Wipeout.
Yeah, the one with the where you run across the okay.
The balloon things.
Yeah.
They made a video game around the same time as Sneak King. It was like another one of those type of games. It was an ad for Wipeout.
Right.
And it was also really fun.
Really?
And it used the Microsoft 360.
Kinect?
The avatars
Oh, okay.
that you used to make. I think you might still have access to those
You
guys.
do, yeah. I think they have like an avatar section in like the Xbox One stuff for the Series
Okay.
X or whatever that you can go and customize your avatar.
Oh,
So,
go dress your doll up.
dude, Sneak King though.
Yeah. So those are the new dev teams. Good luck.
Whoa,
Don't fire everybody after a year, please.
there's an F here though. I see that's Sneak King Studios. That's weird.
Sneak King Studios.
I love Sneak. I love
That'd
Sneak
be
King.
awesome. Sorry for coughing.
Nice one, dude. It's disgusting.
And speaking of immersive shooter, guess
Yeah.
what? Another thing that we brought into existence last week, I said.
Oh yeah.
We talked about System Shock. Mm-hmm. They are Night Dive Studios are bringing the System Shock remake to consoles.
So, as somebody that's I've never seen System Shock. I've never seen anybody play System Shock before.
Oh.
I have no idea what it is. Should I play this?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because I love BioShock, and I know that's obviously very
it's
connected.
very connected. Yeah, Shodan is one of the greatest video game villains of all time.
Who is Shodan?
She's an AI that is like a rampant AI.
Oh, isn't Gladys like loosely based off of Shodan
Exactly.
from
Yes.
Portal 2?
Yeah.
Never played those
So
games.
Shodan in System Shock 2 is when Shodan really
Right.
becomes awesome. But this remake, they do a good job of portraying her.
Really quickly, I
Without spoiling, I can't
Don't-
say anything without
don't
spoiling.
say anything, because if I'm going to play it,
No, it's really,
I wanna
really
play
good.
it.
It's hard though. It's not easy. This is not an easy
okay
game.
with that.
This is a almost a walkthrough game.
A walkthrough game. Like
Yeah.
Myst again? We're talking about Myst again?
No,
Because I
no.
hate Myst.
No. Meaning like
That's not a game.
There are some puzzles in here that are hard.
Okay, I like that, though.
Okay.
Like The Witness. You ever play The Witness?
Yes,
Witness
I
is great.
have. This is not that hard of a puzzle game.
Really quickly, going back to the studio announcements, which one of these are you most excited for?
Oh, Empty Vessel.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Critical Hit Games, the Polish developers.
Yeah. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Critical Hit Games because they showed us a trailer of the thing that they're making,
yeah.
obviously, and that really got me going. But yeah, the Empty Vessel, I'm very curious to see what they do with id and the Naughty Dog,
Yeah.
and then even Activision
That
as well.
mashup of id, Naughty Dog, and Activision.
Good talent there.
Yeah. They know how to release a game.
Yeah.
A AAA game,
Done
too.
it plenty of times.
Well, same with Giant Skull. That was the Jedi
Right.
director guys.
The former Respawn.
It's just Los Angeles
Yeah.
employees working from home. AAA. I don't.
It'll take a
good
while,
luck.
probably.
I hope you release a game.
Another quick news item before we get to this next one.
Yeah.
Did you see that PUBG is making the move over to Unreal Engine 5?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Like their game is in Unreal Engine 4.
That made me want to be like, oh, maybe I should try this out again. They haven't done.
Yeah,
I don't think they've done.
They
it
also
yet,
announced
obviously, but-
destructible environments,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of cool. How destructible? I don't know.
Wow, they're making Fortnite in PUBG.
So here's the thing, though. These guys crafting.
Yeah.
I love PUBG. I'm just gonna say this.
Okay.
My favorite.
Be careful.
It's my favorite BR game.
Be careful here.
I do not think Krafton are good developers.
I don't know who. Wait, who is that? I don't know who that
The
is.
developers of PUBG. It's the PUBG Corp or whatever.
Oh, so it's the. Did Player Unknown sell it, or
Yes.
did he make a company after he created the idea?
So I don't know if you know this. Did you catch that it's not called Player Unknown's Battlegrounds?
Isn't it just
anymore?
Battlegrounds now, or whatever?
It's just called PUBG Battlegrounds.
PUBG, yeah,
Which
that's what it
PUBG is Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
So it's technically called Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Whoa, bad name alert.
So when he sold it off to Krafton, I think, and then now they're the PUBG Corp. I just don't think that they're just not good at executing their ideas.
What else have they
Have
done?
you been playing PUBG in the past
No.
5 years?
No.
So this happens
Absolutely
every
not.
single time they release a new map or a new idea or
Right.
roadmap of some sort. They just never.
it
it's
never comes to
always-
fruition.
Yeah, it's always boggled.
That's annoying. Bad roadmaps are the death of like live service video games like that.
I remember-
Anthem. Do you remember that? Because that
Yeah.
was kind of a similar situation.
Well,
in which
that
Anthem
was
came
the-
out, and then they showed the roadmap, and they're like, "This is the idea. I know it's not as good as everybody thinks.
Also-
this is the roadmap." And then 2 months after, they showed that it was closed out,
But
and it was,
that was
everything
also
dead.
dependent on player
Yeah,
like count,
right. That's true.
which was never there.
Dude, BioWare. Woof.
Wow, BioWare.
Woof.
Our very first episode, we gave the RIP to BioWare.
Gave our IP to BioWare. What do you mean?
Oh, we were like, rest in peace, BioWare.
Oh, I thought you said like our IP, like intellectual
our
property.
first. No,
I see what you mean. Yeah, our
first
well,
episode.
Here's the thing.
That was our topic.
I gave him the old ripper, but then I see they're making a new Mass Effect game, and I'm like, all right,
It's just not
I might come
BioWare
back.
though. It's not BioWare.
Yeah, but I might come back.
That's not like the real BioWare.
Yeah, but it says BioWare, which means I might.
That's
come
kind of
back.
like the Beatles being me and you.
Yeah, but are we talking about what's the Theseus' ship?
Yeah.
Is it still
yeah.
Theseus' ship? If it's not Theseus' ship anymore,
Nope.
I believe it is. The idea is still there because it's Mass Effect.
The idea is okay.
I think it could be. Here's the thing. I still buy Battlefield games, even though the original people from Battlefield aren't there.
Hold on. That's not true. There were, up until yesterday,
Right.
there were a lot of Battlefield guys from the original Battlefield.
Okay, let me-
in the Battlefield studio, in DICE.
So let me rephrase then. Modern Warfare games. I buy
Okay.
the new ones, but they're not the Modern Warfare teams of old.
Slightly
They're
different.
Respawn.
That's a giant machine that knows how to release a game. So like that, those games are autopilot anyways.
Do you know what else was a giant machine?
What?
The Reapers in Mass Effect 3.
You know what? I never finished Mass Effect 3.
It's not great. I'll be honest with you. Even the original BioWare guys didn't make very good stuff.
Well,
Mass Effect 3 is not great.
I really like the original Baldur's Gate. I really love Jade Empire. I think
Yeah.
Jade Empire is such an awesome game.
Mass Effect 1 and 2, classics.
Yeah, Mass
But
Effect
3,
1 and
they
2.
really, they go off the rails. in
They are
3.
also, I mean, that's a big thing to tackle in one generation of consoles.
Yeah, that's true. Mass Effect 3, or Mass Effect 2 is arguably,
With save files that transition.
yeah. Mass Effect 2 is arguably the greatest
Sequel?
sequel and RPG of all time. I mean, you could make the argument.
You can make the argument that Mass Effect 2 is not even an RPG.
No, it's a role-playing game. You
Sure.
make decisions. You make you
Yeah,
play
I
a different
guess so,
role. You
but
can be
it's-
you
I
can be
mean-
good guy, bad guy.
I like part 1.
You can sleep with whoever you want in that video game, which is my favorite thing.
One of the biggest problems with Mass Effect 1 was the bugs. And then when
Fair.
the collection came out,
Yeah,
Mass Effect 1 was great.
yeah.
With the Mako vehicle,
The rover. Yeah,
also improved in
yeah.
handling.
I heard that because
So
I
I
never
think
played
1
Mass
is,
Effect 1.
is the best.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's a hot take, in my opinion, because I think 2 is pretty well renowned as being even after the remake came out, still being pretty well renowned as better. When's the last time you played Mass Effect 2?
When that collection came out.
Okay, all right. That's when
I got all the way to the end of part 3, and then I was like,
well, that's kind of what 3 is.
which I did
That's
the
the problem
first time
with
it
3.
was released too.
3 is just not very good, unfortunately. But they did make DLC that kind of cleared up the end of 3 a little bit, but still. But it's like the fact that you have to release DLC in order to like uncloud the problems of 3 was such a weird thing. Anyways, hey, Mass Effect, it's coming again,
Good.
and everybody else's favorite Andromeda. Love that game.
That game was so bad.
Speaking of a game that I barely played, I got through maybe 3 hours of that game, and I was like, oh man, this is not.
I went to a friend's
ain't
house.
it.
I went to a friend's house. He loved Mass Effect.
Oh,
and
that's
when
sad.
Andromeda came out, I had heard that it was not good. And then I
Yeah.
went to his house and he was playing it. And I was like, is this game good or not? And he was
Tears
like,
rolling down his
he was
eye.
like, no, it's good. He's like, just don't believe all that. And we were watching, and during a cutscene, someone's face disappeared, and it was just their eyeballs and their lips. And and it was hilarious.
One of the worst decisions they
And
made.
he just looked like he was defeated.
Yeah, one of the worst decisions they made was when they made Andromeda was them making the decision to make it a customizable character. Shepard is one of the most iconic, female or male, is one of the most
FemShep.
iconic characters. You can't change them very much, but they're one of the most iconic characters in the
Well,
history
you
of
could
video
change.
games.
I made my male Shepherd look like Matt Damon.
Yeah,
I
but it
tried
was
to.
still like
it's like
the
a
through
preset
line,
character guy.
right? But the
And-
through line is still pretty similar.
Oh yeah,
But like in this game, it was fully customizable. Like you could make him look like he went through a severe burn ward. Like it was a mess. The character creation was terrible, and
I
really drove people out of
that it had this
scenes.
doll eye looking thing,
Yes.
which actually
Yes.
brings up Stellar Blade. Speaking of doll eyes,
Yeah.
now
Good
in the
transition,
news,
by the way.
Did you? No,
You know what? Why can't we keep talking about Mass Effect? I want to talk about Mass
I
Effect.
don't want to talk about Mass Effect. Mass Effect
I
is
love Mass
not.
Effect.
It doesn't exist anymore, James.
It does. Mass Effect 5 coming soon, and it's going to be called Mass Effect Real Shepard this time.
Real Shep.
Yeah. Maybe not Shepard. He's not around anymore. Spoilers.
Spoilers. I don't know what happens.
Yeah,
here.
well,
Don't tell
sorry.
me. Stellar Blade, by the way. So that's that PlayStation 5
Yeah.
exclusive. Comes out this year.
It was shown. I think it was the first thing they showed on that. The whatever they're called.
The
You know what they're called?
PS5 Connect thing.
Yeah. The
PS Next. State of Play. Sorry.
There we go. God. Hey,
Jeez.
video game
I just got
podcast.
like Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation
Hey,
all
video game
like pushed
podcast
together.
here. We know what these are.
Yeah, we know what these are. But they released a demo on accident.
On accident.
40 minutes. So I got to watch 40 minutes of this game. Now,
You think that person got
speaking
fired?
of Mass Effect, you know what? It's a good transition too, because this game looks like Mass Effect.
Okay.
So James over here thought this
What
was
if
a
I
JRPG.
what if I came over there and I don't know, gave you these hands for saying that?
So it looks like Mass Effect 3, the intro of Mass Effect 3, when things are kind
Okay.
of falling to the planet.
All right, that makes more sense.
Where I thought the graphics looked fantastic. The main character had a friend that wakes her up, and it looks really good. The combat is very much like Devil May Cry, or
Okay.
probably more in line with Nier Automata.
Lots of numbers jumping out on screen.
No,
and whatnot.
no.
Oh,
Not a lot of numbers like that, but in terms of combat
okay.
style,
I see.
I should say, it looked really good. So you thought it was kind of like a JRPG. So in a JRPG, let's just say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because
Right.
it's out. You have a mini map, and there is a pathing on the mini map, and then most of the path is just up, and there's invisible walls everywhere.
Right.
This is not like that. It's more like a well-designed level,
Like Monster Hunter.
less open, but yeah.
Okay.
And I thought it looked fantastic. I was a little bit of a hater.
Okay.
Now the characters do have doll eyes. They're kind of uncanny valley.
That's the thing is when I saw this trailer, I was like, the art style of this doesn't match the world that they're walking into, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, there is that Asian flair.
Yeah.
And this is a Korean game, so you have that I don't want to say
here.
boy band. It's not boy band.
Okay, no,
But
I get what
like-
you're saying. Like K-pop.
K-pop.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Like a K-pop style clothing where the main characters have very fleshed out different clothing.
Right. No pun intended.
But everybody else
Is wearing military gear.
Yeah, you know what
and
I
they're
mean?
prepared for the end of the world. Imagine Mad Max, but then like a person with one of like Nicki Minaj's Oscars outfits came on.
Yeah.
And it was like, I fight in this.
Yeah. Well, I think that looks cool, first of all. So it does have a bit of an anime flair.
Right.
But I wouldn't call it JRPG.
No, but I'm saying I think isn't the ideal of the game itself, isn't it a JRPG? I thought it was closer to like
No.
I thought it was closer to like Persona.
No, not at all.
Maybe
This
I'm
is-
insane.
It's closer to, geez, I don't know. It's closer to God of War than Persona.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You want me to go over there and you
I want you to play this game.
You want to catch these hands is what you want to do.
Yeah, bring it. Why can't you just? I want you to play this game, and I want you to feel.
There's a lot
it's
of
kind of
people-
like Final Fantasy 16 all over.
Where something I knowingly played.
Final Fantasy 16 is not what you expected it. If you like third person action
Right.
combat, you're gonna and story heavy narratives, you would love Final Fantasy 16.
Did you beat it?
No, I'll get there.
I'll get there.
It's a long game, dude. It's
But
like
now you're playing Rebirth.
100 hours. No, I'm not playing Rebirth.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I'm going to. Not for a while. Not for a while.
Why not?
Because you know what? It's a little too cringe for me.
It's a little too cringe.
Yeah.
Which part? The part where the weird cat walks on screen and sees everything's burning? That's where you said, you know what? I'm done with this.
So I love Final Fantasy VII, and I'm sure this game is really good, and I'm going to like it. It's just right now I'm not in the mood for that.
We're getting many views for this. This is gonna be the title of the show. Grant doesn't like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Hey, I never played it, so I did play the demo, but
The
I
weird
just can't
cat.
get into it.
Can you explain to me what the cat is?
Kate Sith.
That's his name. That's its name. His name. It's a cat.
His
Its name. It's a cat.
Man,
it's
I
a
don't know.
cat. It's a cat. Who
But
cares?
he has a friend.
He has a friend.
Yeah, it's like a stuffed animal. It's something inside of a stuffed animal. Yeah, it's a monster inside of a stuffed animal who's befriended. You meet him at the
Dude.
casino. He has a.
You meet him at a casino.
Yeah, he has. Kate Sith has a. What is it called? Like the little blowhorn thing, where you yell into
Oh, like a megaphone.
megaphone. There
Oh,
you go.
okay.
They-
You meet him at a casino.
A cat
That's
with a
usually-
megaphone
here's
sitting
the
on top
thing.
of a stuffed
Hey,
animal.
you know what? Here's what I'll say. Everybody's had that night at the casino. They drank too much.
Yeah.
And then Kate Sith or something like it comes up to you and be like, hey, maybe don't press that button this
Yeah,
time.
yeah. That's exactly.
Maybe just go home.
Yeah. The golden saucer. I don't know. So Stellar Blade looks more interesting than the Final Fantasy games to me
Whoa, that's crazy.
right now. Yeah.
You're hot taking it.
I don't think that's
Effect-
crazy.
No, it is. That's crazy. Are you kidding me?
It
Compared
also
to,
this is a sci-fi story.
yeah, I know, but the online
So if you
discourse,
like
everybody
Mass
loves
Effect-
Rebirth.
Yeah. I know.
So that's a hot take. You're saying a hot take, and then Mass Effect 1's better than Mass Effect 2. That's also a
That's
hot take.
not a hot take.
That is definitely a hot take.
When
but-
they came out, Mass Effect 2 was better. But since
Yes.
they remastered Part 1, I think Part 1 holds up better.
But they remastered both, and 2 also holds up.
Not as much as 1.
Let's move on.
1 has a far better story. That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it.
Oh, man. What about the...
Dude, the story in part
It's
2 is
not-
nothing. The story in
it's
part 2
not
is just
better.
you and your companions. It's just your companions' missions that are really interesting.
But they're hitting you with so many good characters. You got Martin Sheen in there as the elusive man, killing it. Martin Sheen, I didn't know he was
he's
a
in
voice
the
actor.
first one?
No, he's not. Elusive Man's not in the first one.
Oh,
He's in
you're
at the
right.
very end, I
You're
think.
right.
I think
He's at the
that's like
very
the tease for the second game.
Yeah, but you get the Shadow Broker in the first one.
Please stop talking to me right now. You're making me angry. Okay?
I don't care.
All the beautiful baddies you get to wife up in the second one, too? Are you kidding me?
I like Jack, the girl.
Yeah, she's cool. I like her, too.
She's
Scary,
she's
though.
interesting because you can romance her right away, and then
Right, but it's like a power move.
don't do that.
Yeah, because
Don't
then
do
she
that.
hates you.
Then she'll die.
Yeah. Yeah, she reminds me of every time I see her. I'm reminded of the main character of Infamous.
She was also voice acted by a girl that we talked about a few weeks ago, and I
Jack Ryan.
can't remember her name. Sorry, but she's a great voice actor.
Oh, like a very prominent voice actress? I know exactly who you're talking about.
Caitlin? Oh, sorry, can't remember.
Caitlin?
I'm sorry. It starts with a K or
Caitlin
C.
Stark.
Don't know. I'm sorry.
I'll look it up.
Please. But I think PlayStation's got another winner in this game.
I mean, they
think
probably
it's
do.
gonna
That's
come
all
out.
they do at this point.
Stellar Blade's going to come out, and people are going to like it. I promise you, man. This is a good game. I know the look of it, I guess, might rub people the wrong way, but not me.
I'm blowing my mind. Courtney Taylor.
Courtney Taylor. I knew it was a C.
Did you know Carrie-Anne Moss was in the second one?
Yeah.
I had no idea
Yeah.
until just now.
There was a bunch of people that you probably didn't know that are in that.
Carrie-Anne Moss, obviously. Martin Sheen, I said that already.
Yeah.
Yvonne Stravsky, she's a pretty prominent actress. I can't say her name, but she's a prominent actress.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
Seth Green, obviously. Everybody knows Seth Green as Joker.
Yeah.
Keith David, obviously. Everybody knows him.
Keith David, the best.
Anyways, what are we doing here?
What was the quote? The Arbiter quote we said earlier.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
What would you have your Arbiter do?
It's a great scene. Keith David, man. I love Keith
David.
Goosebumps every time I think of him. Anyways.
What a voice.
Oh, Stellar Blade. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying PlayStation's got another hit, I think. When this
Another
game
one?
comes out, this game's going to be a big hit.
Man, they already did it. They got Helldivers, and there's not a bigger game on planet Earth right now. And they're just like, hey, here's this game, by the way.
Yeah.
In the middle of February, who cares? And now there's nothing bigger than that on planet Earth.
That's the news, buddy. Well, now,
I'm
you
grabbing
asked
mine.
me about the studios. Which one was your favorite? Did you say that?
Critical Hit. Yeah. Critical
Okay.
Hit, because they showed us a trailer. So,
Okay.
and I was like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
no,
And they were listening because they were
I
like,
also
oh,
wanted to
Cyberpunk?
say,
or Blade Runner? Sure.
Polish director, I think I've said it before, but I think the best development teams are in
Scandinavia.
either Northern Europe, Scandinavia, or
Yeah.
Eastern Europe.
It's weird.
Mostly
You know what
Eastern
it
and
is?
Poland.
I think I know what it is.
What?
It's because it's so cold up there.
There's nothing.
They're like,
It's cold
they're
here,
like,
dude.
They're like, let's just hang out inside and learn how to code and write really interesting stories. and
I remember
characters.
last year, winter was so insane.
That's-
I thought it was normal. It snowed in November,
Yeah, that
and
was
that
not
snow,
normal.
that same snow lasted until
Yeah,
on the
last
ground
year
until
it
May.
was insane. Okay, let's get to. I have no idea what time we're at. I forgot to start a timer again this week.
We're good.
Okay, thank you. Notable games releasing this week.
This week,
It's a big week in video games. To be honest with you, it is.
it really is.
There's a lot of stuff.
Now, the first one I put down here, it came out last week, and it
Yeah.
was a stealth release. Speaking of Eastern European game developers, this
True.
is a team from Ukraine, the Stalker guys. Can't remember what they're called, but they make Stalker.
Right.
They released the trilogy, the Stalker trilogy, stealthily
The original Soccer trilogy.
on console, which is crazy because this game has always been a PC game forever, and it was wanted to come. People wanted this to come to console for years.
And then they just dropped it.
they
It's
just did.
stealthily because it's Stalker. Get it?
Yeah,
Because they're stalkers and they're.
gotcha. The stalking,
Anyways,
wonderful.
I'm gonna play this game.
You are?
I'm gonna
So
play
I
this
want you to
game.
play this game. I have not
games.
looked up any reviews outside of the Xbox
Right.
reviews,
Which are always a little skewed because they're just 5-star. Thanks for releasing this.
Yes, it was like 5 stars. I can't wait to play this.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for the review, dude.
And some of them were like 1 stars. There's bugs on it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, I know it's not a 1-star game.
Yeah, it came out in 2001, 2002, something like that.
Yeah,
The original
early
games.
2000s,
Yeah.
probably 2000, after Half-Life 2. So 2005 or to 7.
That's
around
probably
there.
about right. 2005.
Um,
Wasn't it originally It wasn't in a game by itself. It was a Half-Life 2 mod, wasn't it?
It might
I
have
thought?
started. No, well, the Stalker games are heavily modded,
Right.
And now I heard that the studio said that they were going to release mod support on console
Oh,
soon,
cool.
which would be really cool. But the games like Tarkov have came out of Stalker.
Right. So Soccer, it's out. It's out right
Play-
now.
I
Go
want you to play it, James, because
So-
I played the original, the first one, which is Shadow of Chernobyl.
Right. That's the
Kinda
one everybody
scary.
knows. But there's 3 games in this collection.
Yeah.
Are they DLCs to the first one?
They're like standalone expansion packs.
Okay.
You would call them. but they were always standalone. You could buy them.
So they're not as long as like Shadow of Colossus then, or
Shadow of Chernobyl.
Jesus, dude. What is it? 7 o'clock?
You know what? I never finished the second one. Call of Pripyat is the third one. The second one is like Clear Skies, I believe.
Okay. And they're just story expansions from to the first one.
Yeah, they're standalone expansions basically. They're really, really good. Awesome story. A lot of looting. A lot of like by yourself in some scary situations.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
I like that. I love Chernobyl as like a story.
It reminds me of Metro, although Metro is more focused.
Sold.
Yeah.
Don't even say anything else.
You'll like it.
Sold. So number 2, the Battlefront Classic Collection. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection is coming out this
Grant
week.
is really excited for
James
this.
is a little hesitant.
Okay, so am I. So
Sorry.
let me explain my hesitancy first.
Yeah.
Okay, I have quite a bit. Now, I love these games are awesome. So a lot of people don't know this, but Battlefront 1 Classic and Battlefront 2 Classic are pretty different from each other.
Yeah.
Most people, when they think of the Battlefront Classic games, they're thinking of Part 2. But Part 1 has got a special place in my heart because I played the crap out of this game on the original Xbox. And I recently played these the last few nights too. They're really good. The first one is very rough around the edges, meaning the perspective behind your character is off. The reticle is on the top middle of your screen, not the middle of your screen, which they might address, they might not.
I hope they do.
The AI in the first one is really bad. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
So they might not address that either. The balance is different than Part 2. I don't know. The maps are way more open in the first one, meaning like there are ships that you can just grab. The Hoth level is really cool.
Right. Okay.
The second one is definitely more polished. It has a story. It has like a somewhat of a story in the multiplayer maps.
Yeah, I remember that.
A lot faster. There is no run button in the first one.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I mean, people
They
might
have to
not
be.
like
They
it.
have to address that. There's no way in the year 2024 that they re-release this and they're like,
So
hey, guess what?
I'm going to
You
assume
can't run.
This is being done by Aspire. They remake or they release games or port games or port studio, and they're pretty good. They're really good. They have a long pedigree of releasing or porting awesome games, and I don't know if what they're going to do with the first one. So I think a lot of people are going to play this game, and the first one they're going to start is Part 1. I think it's a big mistake.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they did that too. To be honest, with you.
So they're going to fire up Part 1, and if it's not, honed in to be like Part 2, people are going to quit because it's going to be hard.
This plays terrible
because it's going to be multiplayer. It's going to be really hard. I'm going to assume that it all works.
Are they bringing back the story, quote unquote, the stories as well? Or
It's like the 501st story.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, I didn't know if they were just doing a multiplayer port or whatever. The only reason I'm worried about this is because they had the announcement like a month ago.
Yeah.
Of this coming out, maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
Which makes me nervous because this is something.
Their game was also canceled. They were remaking Knights of the Old Republic, and it was canceled.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But that's the thing is they canceled that, and then it's kind of like a back burner. Hey, we're also releasing this, even though we're canceling KOTOR. Here, the Battlefront collection.
I think they always have this game in their pocket.
But it's not being remastered.
Just like the Stalker guys did. They had that in their pocket, I bet, because their new Stalker game's probably not going well. I mean, they're in Ukraine, can't be going great.
That's. What if they are making a game? That'd be crazy.
It's still on. Yeah. It's still going to.
I mean,
come
a lot
out.
of those guys, hopefully, have probably guys and girls have probably evacuated, which would.
Well, they're not in like a war zone. It's just funding and all that stuff.
Yeah, it just becomes a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Talk about working remote.
Talk about working.
No kidding. But yeah, this Battlefront, just because this is such a big brand, like Battlefront in general, those are hugely, hugely respected titles in the Star Wars genre.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that this wasn't like I would have expected a trailer for this game at like the Game Awards, and I would not have been surprised by that. So I don't know. Part of me just wonders if it's maybe just a port and they haven't changed anything.
I bet they. Well, here's the thing. On PC, They did this a few years ago, 4 years ago maybe, where they. Hold on, let me start over. So the PC version of Battlefront 2 was always played on third-party servers. It was supported by the community heavily for years. Right. And then finally, EA were like, we're going to give you guys, we're going to re-release this game and put in working servers. And it was awesome. And I think still today you can go and play on PC. And I believe that it's a free upgrade if you have bought it recently.
Oh, cool.
On PC. And, excuse me. So I think that's what they're going to be doing with this game, just the console version. So it's going to be a bare bones style thing. But since the PC version works, I think this is going to work. I don't think you need to do much to it. Part 2, you don't need to do much to it.
Part 1, you definitely.
Part 1, you're going to have to put work in, or people are not going to play. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the difference once the game actually comes out, or the collection actually comes out. How many more people are playing Battlefront 2 versus Battlefront 1 if they haven't really changed all that much?
It's like a Master Chief Collection style where it's just
it's like
an easy
blended?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's an easy thing to jump in and it's blended to work together cohesively.
Okay.
Kind of like if you play Master Chief Collection and you're like, you have all the games checked to play and you go, oh, now I'm playing part 1.
Right.
You can change your settings to be combat evolved specific.
Yeah.
And then Halo 2 specific and Halo 3. And it works seamlessly and it's awesome.
It didn't work seamlessly.
No, not when it first came out, it didn't.
It was
it does
a big
now.
old break at that point.
It does now. And it has been for a while. It's just good luck. This is an awesome game. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 are really, really good. It's just one needs some work.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's coming.
I can't wait. I'm going to play the heck out of this.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
I hope
because I don't know if I'm. I didn't grow up with Battlefront 2.
I will shred this game if it's
bad.
Bad. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If it's handled bad.
Yeah. Number 3, Grant. I'll let you take it away. This is your game.
This is my game. MLB The Show. Don't you know this? I play this all the time.
Everybody knows that's
MLB
Grant's
The Show
game.
2024, right? Not 25.
Yeah, 24. MLB The Show 24 comes out on Thursday at 10 o'clock. Yep. I know very specifically.
This guy's going to play the heck out of it.
I'm going to burn my console, a big old hole in my console.
It would be really fun if I challenged you.
It'd be great. You want to play? We can play.
I just want to pitch to you.
I'll send it over the fence. No problem.
How hard is it to, do you play this game online?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have an issue with lag in the pitching and the hitting?
The key to not have that, and this is a tip for you MLB The Showers out there.
What?
Always have your controller plugged in.
Oh, okay.
Always have your controller plugged in.
I always do.
Yeah, that's kind of a good rule of thumb if you're playing any sort of like first-person shooter like competitively or anything like that. Just have it plugged in so there's no input lag on any of the controllers, and I do that for MLB Show, and it's not that bad, or it's not bad at all, really. But the difficulty, like the changes in the thing that I really struggle with is once you get from Hall of Fame to Legend, which is like the second hardest to the hardest difficulty, the drop off in skill from my point of view is huge. Like Legend is really, really hard. It becomes more of a real baseball game at that point, a baseball sim, where you'll get finals of like 4-2 after 9 innings, and you're like, wow, I cannot believe I put 4 runs across, because it's really like it gets really sweaty at that point. Which is why, like, if you're playing Diamond Dynasty, which is typically what I end up playing, the rankings go from like 0 to 1200, I think, in terms of like the actual like ranked online play. And usually 900 is called World Series. That's like the maximum where they stop kind of keeping track of it. And whenever I get to World Series, I just stop playing until the next season where they kind of reset you, because 900 is when it starts playing Legend difficulty. And I'm like, I don't need to sweat. I don't want to sweat that hard. Hall of Fame is still pretty difficult. Like if you get into a slump in Hall of Fame, you'll feel it and you'll tell it. You have to get into like batting practice and really kind of work out the issues that you have. And then you can go back in and play and it'll start working itself out again. But Legend, it's like you blink and you're missing a pitch. I don't know how people
classic
play that.
character or classic players?
Oh boy, do they? They just announced some new ones.
Nolan
this
Ryan?
Year.
I'll pitch
Nolan Ryan is he's in the game. He's been in the game for the last few years. They're bringing in Johan Santana this year. None of the if you don't watch baseball, none of these names are going to make any sense to you. Johan Santana's coming in the game this year. Finally coming back for the first time in 5, maybe 6 years. Adrian Beltre, one of my favorite third basemen of all time. He's back. He's back in the game. Okay. Andy Pettitte is back in the game as well. Great pitcher from early 2000s Yankees. Shut up. They also have, I think that might. Brian Dozier.
Brian Dozier. That guy. I got his rookie card.
He was decent
for $7
for a little bit. Big home run second baseman. Hold on a second. Shut up.
Jesus.
Big home run hitter second baseman. Big power. But, we'll see. Just kidding. Go ahead. We're done. Lots of legend cards.
Who's that San Francisco Giants closer?
Willie Mays.
Long black hair.
Sergio Ramos?
Nope.
No. Brian Wilson.
Nope. Brian Wilson was awesome, but no.
That's got to be who you're talking about.
2010-ish.
That's right around Brian Wilson.
Long, dark hair. Skinny guy.
You're talking about Tim Lincecum.
There we go.
Yeah. He was a starter.
He wasn't a closer?
No, he was a starting pitcher.
But I remember during a playoff game, he closed
he
up.
may have. They may have put him in the bullpen or something just to close things out or something.
And it was awesome. He was a lefty,
He's great.
right?
No, he's a righty. But he had a really, really weird.
I'm wrong. Yes.
Weird delivery and
something
wind-up.
was weird about it. Yeah. I liked how that
he threw a no-hitter against the Padres in 2013 where he threw like 145 pitches or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then he never played again.
And then the next game, Buckshot Roulette. Have you ever seen
Buckshot Roulette?
Have you seen people play this on
I have
no
idea what this is. I can take a guess.
It's a Russian roulette. But
okay. That's not what I thought.
It's a very lo-fi graphics.
Okay.
Meaning like purposely looks
like pixels.
Pixels. Or it looks like video, just really compressed video. And it's a weird guy that's a strange looking face with a mask or something. And you play Russian roulette against him. It's an AI and you play against him. And it's a kind of a card game-esque weird dice roll type of game.
I thought this was a hunting game.
And you do Russian roulette and you have to put a shotgun in your mouth and pull the trigger. But
how do you...
social media has got a hold of this game and it's kind of fun. It's very interesting.
How do you do that with a shotgun? Like, how do you do Russian roulette with a shotgun?
You know what?
It's a revolver that's typically done with Russian roulette.
Yes, I know, but it's different because you have to. It's like turn-based, so you have to pump the shotgun and pump the shell out, and you have to remember how many shells are in. And you have to put shells in, and you pass the shotgun to this weird AI character. So
Buckshot Roulette, not a hunting game.
Looks cool,
which I thought it was.
One of my favorite video games ever, Kingdom Come Deliverance, is coming for Switch.
Yeah. Don't know how they're going to put this on Switch.
I don't know how they're going to do that either. This is a big game, graphically heavy game.
Lots of moving parts in this game.
Yeah. I love the combat in this game.
Oh, man. That makes one of us.
Shout out to friend Deuce. We both love this game a lot. It's one of my favorite open world video games ever. It takes place...
Ever?
Oh, yeah. It takes place in...
I think it's the Czech Republic, which is like...
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Czech
I can't
Republic.
remember the Ottoman Empire. No, that was probably too early for Ottoman Empire.
No, man, why can't I remember this?
You got this.
Sorry. But an army comes into your town and kills everybody, and you have to make your way to the local magistrate or whatever you call it. Mm-hmm. And then you train to be a knight, and then you fight and get revenge. It's awesome.
And then you become a knight.
And the combat... At first, you think it's kind of like Skyrim.
Oh, man, it's wonky. It's closer to For Honor.
It's kind of, yes,
like
it is close to
For
Honor, but a lot more detailed, I should say. When you first fight in this game, you get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
You're supposed to just let it go. And then you get better by training. Your character gets better stats, but you get better by training.
Yeah.
And it's
practicing.
Really interesting.
The third mission in this game is you pick up a bunch of literal poop, and throw it against a freshly painted wall as a prank. And the guy gets really angry.
Yeah.
But then as the person that's watching it, you're really thinking to yourself, who wins that prank there?
I remember
because now you're going home in the 1500s with poop on your hands. That might as well be a direct shot at dysentery, and you're going to die.
Yes. This is a very realistic game, too.
It is. Almost annoyingly.
Yeah. One of the first missions, you have to go get money from your dad. Your dad is a armorer, and
a blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
Yeah.
and you have to get some coin that is owed to your dad from some guy, and he's kind of a jerk, and your dad says, go get it from him. And I just go and I just fought him and like beat
him up.
And then your dad gets mad. What are you doing that for?
Yeah.
Why'd you beat
that was
him
a customer.
I'm like, well, I thought I was supposed to.
And then you go pick up some poop and throw it against the wall. That's awesome.
You don't have to do that, by the way. You can. Your character loves alcohol too, which is funny. He loves beer,
which also makes sense for the time.
It's also a game that is unique in terms of, I don't want to say, I guess like Christian themes. It's like you. Part of the story is the Christian church.
Yeah,
this is a real life story where.
The events surrounding it are real life.
Events around it happen in real life, and so you play through this church thing, and it's unique. You don't usually see games like this, European games like this, and it's very cool. I like it a lot.
Should I give it another go? I played it.
If you have a Switch, yeah, but
it's no. I'm not going to play on the Switch.
Sadly, this game has been stuck on 30 frames forever.
Yeah. That's true, which is amazing because you're like, this is the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, I know.
You're famously,
but you have to play it on PC. I think this is a PC game. Now you mentioned it coming to Switch. I don't know.
15
I have zero faith that this game is going to be ported correctly on Switch.
Or well at all.
Although a lot of games have been. So
yeah. Well, I don't know about well. Like, have you seen the Witcher game on the Switch? It's kind of a.
At least they got it running. It's at 300p.
Wait a minute. You can't play both sides here, okay? You're Mr. 30. It's 2024.
No. If the resolution is low, I'm fine with it. And if the frame rate is low on a handheld, I'm okay with it. But if it's glitchy and if there's a lot of cut edges around this game, like if the graphics are terrible, like Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Mortal Kombat on Switch. That's
Disaster.
Not good. That runs, but.
Not well.
No, it doesn't really.
Anyways, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I think people should try that.
Alone in the Dark.
Also a game I don't have much faith in.
I thought this was famously not a good game. Am I thinking of an incorrect?
It was remade before. This is the second time it's been remade.
So the first remake was not good.
No, it was bad.
That's what I remember.
But it did have really good fire graphics, I guess. Okay. The technical ability to showcase fire and how it spreads was really cool on my 360 back in the day.
Didn't you have to blink in that game too? In the remake?
I don't know. There was a lot of wonky game decisions and game direction that were like, why did this have to be in it? Yeah. Now, from what I hear, this has a similar problem where like, why is this in this game? But the original was really fun. Point and click horror game.
Oh, Myst.
Kind of like Myst, but
gross. No wonder they remade it.
It was more like Resident Evil before Resident Evil.
Nothing scarier than that JPEG popping up and giving you a loud sound.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Hi-Fi Rush is coming out for
to PS5.
I got to play that. As well. I have still.
That was really quick, by the way, wasn't it?
What, Hi-Fi Rush?
Well, they're like, hey, Hi-Fi Rush might be coming to PlayStation. Then all of a sudden, it is coming to PlayStation. And they're like, here it is.
Yeah, they're like, all right, the port's already done anyway, so just have it. Who cares? We don't care.
That was real quick. That was a big topic like a month ago.
You know what's funny? It
was a mystery of what games were going to come. And then they were like, it's Hi-Fi Rush.
I can't remember who I saw this report from, but I believe it was somebody former Microsoft or from Microsoft. And it said, the quote was, they are more than likely evaluating the usefulness of Xbox consoles. And I was like, Grant, you may be onto something here.
Yeah.
And that's what he was talking about. He was like, if Game Pass is successful enough, there's no need to even have the Xbox consoles.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. But it could just be a former Microsoft guy, kicking up whatever he wants.
He also said a lot of other things, too.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, well, I don't know what all the air and mystery was around that. I said it was like you hadn't heard of it.
I didn't know what you were talking about at first.
I don't care anymore, dude. Whatever.
I don't care anymore. Anyways,
what are you playing?
What are you playing?
When I play, releasing this week.
What?
New season of Siege comes out today.
Oh, really?
Today, it's out right now.
Let's have a reunion.
New characters are out. Ranked seasons reset. New battle pass is out. I'm gonna play that all night. You won't see me tomorrow. You will. I'm coming into work tomorrow. Okay, Bob, relax. I'll be in tomorrow. But new season is out, so that's releasing, and that's probably what I'll be playing. I also have been playing Somebody Once Told Dead Island 2 with my brother, playing some co-op.
Hey.
Dead Island 2. It's
With
fun.
your brother.
Yeah.
Shout out Will.
With my little bro. Shout out Will.
And do you guys like it? At least you're playing with somebody. I played it by myself.
So the weird thing about this game, I think it's fun. Like I think the hack and slash stuff, the detail that they have for a lot of like the bones breaking,
the
stuff
jaws falling off.
Yeah,
and everything?
it's really good.
Yeah.
But I will say the tone is so drastically different than the first game.
Yeah.
It feels closer to Dead Rising than it does like the original Dead Island.
You didn't like the comedy aspect, like the angle. I kind of like the angle that they were going
No,
for.
see, I like the tone of the first one more, which was like a lot more serious, and they're trying to figure out, like there was a point in the game where you had to kind of start to figure out why this outbreak happened and whatnot. And this game, they were just like,
You're like, get from point A to
we
point
don't
B
care
and
about
like
that.
stomp
Yeah.
somebody.
It's also like the difference between like the first Rage and Rage 2, and granted, the first Rage is not very good at all, and Rage 2 is better.
I think,
but tonally, I think Dead Island 2 I don't like as much as Dead Island 1, but it's still fun, like slashing and cutting stuff
I
up.
still think Rage 1 had awesome gunplay when it happened. It was just getting to the gunplay was super annoying and backtracking constantly.
Yeah.
And then going back to the same areas again just to unlock a door that unlocked like 2 hours later.
You're hitting all the wrong spots for me right there.
But the actual gunplay, I think, is a lot better than Rage 2. Rage 2.
Wow, really? I liked Rage 2's
Rage 2
gunplay.
gunplay was doomed to 2016.
That's true.
But not as fun.
Yeah.
I thought Rage 1 gunplay was like Doom 3, but quicker. Doom 3 is like almost like a horror game, but the shooting was fun because it was very fluid and the characters were quick. So in Rage, a guy would hide behind a corner and he would like move his head when you're aiming at him, and he would duck and stuff, and it was really quick and kind of like it was almost like a little dance that he would do, and I thought that was really interesting. Rage 2 was ducks in a row.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're clearly the most powerful person on the battlefield.
And they're just like, here's 20 guys, shoot 20 guys really fast. Rage 1 was like, here's 4 guys in a room and like they're moving around.
Right.
You better like do something.
I like the idea. Like I like the concept of Rage 2. Rage. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was.
But anyways,
Very poorly made though.
but Dead Island 2, it's a good hack and slash zombie video game. The detail of like the slashing and stuff is really I'm surprised that they were able to get that much detail on that and have it run as smoothly as it does. Because it feels like there's a lot of moving parts. Like the bodies really do feel like they're, connected. You know, like connected together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool enough. I'm not a huge fan of the tone. The story is not doing anything for
I
me so
also
far.
saw that you were playing Dying Light 2 because I noticed that you were like, I bet in my head I was like, oh, he probably played Dead Island 2, and I was like, I'm going back to the better game.
Well, no. So here's the thing: they're both made by Techland, aren't they?
No, the first one was made by Techland. It was started by Techland.
Okay.
And then finished by someone else.
Because Techland went bankrupt, didn't they?
I don't know. Techland, I think, is an awesome developer. Another Eastern European developer.
Through that. But yeah. So I started because I remember thinking to myself in Dead Island 2, I was like, man, I feel really slow in this game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what would be fun? A
Parkour.
zombie game where I'm fast. And I was like, maybe I should try Dying Light 2. And it's it's fine. I still like the first one.
Yeah, first one's really good.
But I'm having fun enough. I'm gonna keep playing that as well.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I'm playing.
Real quick, I'm playing Battlefield 4. I started that game. So that game runs at 120 frames on TV. I don't have a 120 frame capable TV, but I wish I did because this game runs at a smooth 60 frames on Xbox Series X, but at 720p.
Oh.
Yeah, they never up the resolution.
Ew. Yeah, that's not great.
Why would you up the frame rate to 120 but not the resolution to at least 1080p?
Yeah, 1080p, yeah. That is weird. What? You can see pixels.
And so I'm like, okay, it's such a fun game and there's a lot of people playing it still. And when I was looking up news on all these DICE guys leaving, I was like, man, I'm going to go back to the DICE Battlefield golden
Prime
era.
Yeah.
And I think Battlefield 4 was and still is fantastic. One of the greatest multiplayer shooters. And and then I played all the Battlefront series. Don't need to talk about that again. There's a new update to Forza Motorsport with the
I saw that.
the car progression.
Yeah.
They overhauled it because when it released, I thought it was a dumb idea. You know what? Forza Motorsport
Horizon's their better product.
is not. It is a polished game,
Yeah. The Forza games are always look
and
good.
it is a well thought out game because there's a lot of it.
Drop the
and
hammer, though.
It's just the handling
Yeah.
is not good.
Yeah.
They do not know how to make a realistic car driving simulator.
I don't care about that. Here's the
I
problem.
know people don't, and here's the
That's-
thing.
yeah.
Can you stop caring about that? Because I'll take this same game with an actual career,
Right.
not this weird.
Well, that's
career.
I'm behind that.
If you're gonna make a realistic racing game, make a realistic racing career. Why can't you just do that? Why what's with this weird? What is that? It's like an arcade.
Yeah, it is. It is
mode
weird.
thing.
I remember playing that and I was like, "What am I doing here?" Like I
Yeah.
had no idea what is going on.
like.
I'm just driving around these tracks, but
Can
I don't
you hire
really know
the
the purpose.
Codemaster guys who do F1 to make a career for you?
Coming out soon.
And because the handling is also, it feels like there are ice on the back wheels
Yeah.
for some reason. Every car feels heavy in the back, even like front wheel drive hatchbacks, or not hatchbacks, but formula cars, they feel heavy in the back. Everything feels really heavy in the back.
Yeah.
It's
The problem with the Forza games, I think the motorsport games now, is that's become the back burner game for them. I think Horizon is now like their main seller, and so they're putting everything that works in Horizon into motorsport, and it doesn't work as well in motorsport because it
Yeah.
is supposed to be the quote unquote sim racing
this
version.
these are circuit tracks. Like,
Yeah.
going down Nürburgring, that was also in the update.
Yeah.
It was just like, why is my my Dodge Charger feel like I'm pulling a trailer? It's just, and I have a racing sim set up, and that helps a little bit. Well, actually, I wasn't liking it, so then I popped in the controller because I was like, maybe it feels better with the controller. No, it feels way worse on a controller. Way worse.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is when I'm playing like F1, it's just so much more responsive and more fun, especially multiplayer. It's so much more fun to play the multiplayer in that game than it is in Forza because it just doesn't
Also,
feel so much better.
The multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
Can you? So the competitors like Assetto Corsa and Gran Turismo, iRacing,
Yeah.
even F1, the multiplayer aspect are. It's like it's not filled with a bunch of idiots. Forza is filled with a bunch of people who want to ruin your time.
Well, yeah.
It's like I'm playing casual mode on Siege. Like people,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm here to ram you
Yeah.
in the back to
And that's
ruin
it.
your game. That's
That's
it.
all I'm doing.
There's no penalty. There's no like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
And I still have my issue with F1 when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, I noticed that as well in Forza
and you
Motorsport.
also can practice in the before a race to tune your car correctly, and then you go to race and you can pick where you line up in the instead of there's no qualifying, so you can just put your character or your car on the pole position. You just get less.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
reward.
talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What? It's another
that
arcade
part-
type of aspect of
Right.
the game. Like, well, I thought this was a realistic game. Why?
Yeah,
am
that
I-
part didn't make
I
any
want to
sense
earn
when I
the
was
pole
playing that.
position. What
Yeah.
the heck is this? Also, the AI is your friends, and so I was playing with an AI that had my friend in, and he drove like a madman. I was like, they just took his actual play style and put it in my race that I'm trying to. I was like, he's running into everybody. I was like, this is ridiculous. The game
funny.
is off the.
It's off the
Go
rails.
to the drawing board.
It's off the road.
Turn 10. Go to the drawing board, and then that's all I'm playing. I'm playing Sifu too.
Sifu won, but you're playing that as well.
I'm playing Sifu as well. Yeah.
All right, that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up the show for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's probably a little bit longer of an episode. No idea what time we're at, to be honest with you.
Sorry.
It just feels longer, so I'm going to say it's a longer of an episode.
I think we're good.
But tune in for the whole thing, okay? That's what we're here for. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you're listening to this, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com. Just look up Active Reload. You'll find us, probably one of the first options there. And you can watch all the episodes as well. If you're watching us, you can listen to us as well. Why not?
Yeah. Thanks, James.
Any of your popular podcasting platforms. You're welcome, Grant, and thank you. We'll be back next week talking probably something to do with refrigerators, so stay tuned for that. See you next week.
I'm going to play some Siege.
Good work.
All right.